What if I told you that the reason you feel anxious when someone ignores your message, restless when a friend drifts away, or terrified at the thought of being alone, is not because of them, but because of you? What if the very thing you've been chasing all your life, love, validation, approval, was never the solution, but the trap? The truth is, once you learn this one Stoic lesson, you will no longer feel the desperate need for anyone to make you whole again. For as long as humanity has existed, we have felt the pull of needing others, companionship, approval, love, validation, reassurance, and recognition. These needs are only natural. After all, we are social beings, wired to depend on one another for survival. Yet at the same time, an intriguing paradox unfolds in human life. The more dependent we are on others for our sense of inner peace, the more restless, anxious, and discontent we become. We chase after friendships, crave relationships, and cling to recognition, imagining that happiness lies in these external connections. But what happens when they let us down, reject us, or abandon us? If our peace rests on someone else's presence, then our peace is never truly our own. This is where Stoicism enters the conversation. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism, practiced passionately by thinkers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, teaches us something startling, that real freedom comes from needing less, not more. Stoicism is not about rejecting human companionship or love, but about learning to anchor your sense of self in something deeper, something no one else can disturb. Once mastered, this lesson will transform how you see yourself in your relationships. You will no longer feel enslaved to the fear of being alone, abandoned, or unloved. Let us explore this profound Stoic insight step by step, unraveling how it shifts your perspective, heals emotional dependence, and gives you the inner strength to face life's uncertainties with peace. The nature of needing others. There is a difference between appreciating others and needing them. Appreciation allows you to enjoy people's presence while respecting their autonomy. Needing, however, shackles you to dependency. You cannot function without their approval or attention. For example, if a friend stops replying to your messages, do you feel unsettled, restless, or abandoned? If your partner seems distant for a day, do you panic, assuming they no longer love you? If your work goes unnoticed, do you spiral into self-doubt? These reactions highlight that your self-worth is not grounded within, but controlled by others, their moods, their absence, their recognition. This is a dangerous place to live because people are not stable anchors. Their feelings, opinions, and circumstances change. If your peace depends on them, your peace is never secure. Stoics confronted this reality centuries ago. They saw that the external world, including people, is beyond our grasp. To cling to what is beyond our control is to invite disappointment. To endure life without dependence, however, to enjoy others without needing them, is liberation. The Stoic principle of control. The foundation of Stoicism rests on one powerful idea, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus summed this up in his Enchiridion: there are things within our control, our thoughts, judgments, and actions, and things outside our control, everything else, including other people. Most suffering comes from confusing these zones. We assume that if we love someone, we can control how they see us. We think we can secure loyalty, shape their emotions, or guarantee they will stay. But this is an illusion. What is truly in our grasp is only our own response. Imagine a person builds their happiness entirely on their partner's affection. The day the partner leaves, their world collapses. But a Stoic would respond differently: I cherish this relationship, but I know it is not mine to command. I will enjoy it while it exists, but I will not be destroyed when it ends, because my peace comes from within. By shifting the focus from controlling others to controlling oneself, the Stoic becomes unshakable. Neediness dissolves. Instead of saying, I need you to complete me, a Stoic says, I am whole with or without you. Love without attachment. Now, some may object: are Stoics cold-hearted, unwilling to love or connect with others? Absolutely not. This is a misunderstanding of Stoicism. Stoics deeply valued relationships. They served their families, loved their friends, and acted compassionately. Marcus Aurelius himself led with a sense of duty to humanity. But they practiced what might be called non-attached love. Love that says, I give to you freely. I cherish you. But I do not treat you as my possession or my source of worth. Think of a parent holding a child's hand as they cross a street. The parent cherishes the child, but knows that fate can take the child away at any moment. To cling with desperation would lead to suffering. To love openly, while accepting transience, creates resilience. The Stoics remind us, everything we have, including people, is on loan from the universe. We cannot cling forever. Instead of suffocating relationships with need, they invite us to enjoy while it lasts, and let go with grace when it ends. When practiced, this attitude frees you from desperation, while allowing you to love even more deeply. Self-sufficiency is strength. One of Stoicism's central ideals is autarkia, self-sufficiency. This does not mean isolation or rejecting community. Rather, it is the ability to find contentment in oneself, regardless of external relationships. Seneca explains, the wise man is content with himself. That is, his contentment is not because of others' praise, affection, or company, but because he has mastered his inner life. He has cultivated virtues such as wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline, qualities that no one can take away from him. This inner independence is what makes a Stoic capable of healthy relationships. Ironically, the less you need others, the more genuinely you can love them. If you are desperate for someone's presence, then you do not approach them with love, but with hunger. You see them not as they are, but as a means to soothe your insecurity. When you are self-sufficient, however, you approach them freely, not to fill a void, but to share fullness. The fear of being alone. One of the strongest emotional entanglements comes from the human fear of loneliness. We worry that without others around us we are somehow incomplete. But Stoicism teaches us to reframe aloneness as a gift, not a curse. Marcus Aurelius often wrote to himself in his meditations during moments of solitude. To him, alone time was an opportunity to turn inward, to reflect, to purify thought. He never described it as a time to dread, but as a chance to strengthen the soul. Loneliness is painful because we associate it with lack, a lack of love, of security, of being wanted. But solitude can instead be reframed as abundance, a space to rediscover your independence, to realign your thoughts, to grow into your own company. When practiced this way, needing others dissolves, because you learn to enjoy being with yourself. Stoic practices to reduce neediness. Stoicism is not merely theory, it is practical philosophy. Here are timeless practices to cultivate inner self-sufficiency. Negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. Imagine losing the people you love. Not to make you paranoid, but to prepare your mind. This makes you cherish them while you have them, yet makes you resilient if they leave. Voluntary discomfort, practice small acts of self-denial, sleeping on the floor, skipping a meal, or facing rejection. By exposing yourself to challenges, you realize that even without comfort or praise, you are still whole. Daily reflection, like Marcus Aurelius, journal about your day. Ask yourself, did I rely too much on others today for validation? Where could I have stood firmer on my own? Focus on virtue, anchor your worth in your character, honesty, courage, justice, temperance. These virtues are yours to uphold, regardless of anyone else's opinion. Through these practices, you train the soul to be at peace regardless of external circumstances. Embracing universal brotherhood without need. Stoicism also holds the belief that we are part of a greater cosmos, a universal family. Humans are naturally social creatures, and our duty is to act with justice and kindness. But this does not conflict with self-sufficiency. The Stoic worldview allows one to say, I belong to humanity. I will serve, I will love, I will connect, but I do not need others to validate my worth, for my worth comes from being aligned with virtue. This shift is subtle but profound. It leads to a healthier type of social life. While many chase relationships out of fear of loneliness, the Stoic seeks relationships from abundance. They already feel whole, so when they share themselves, it is authentic, not desperate. Contemporary relevance. In modern times, where social media intensifies the craving for approval, Stoic teachings are more relevant than ever. A single like or comment can dictate someone's mood. Many cannot enjoy a sunset without posting it for others' validation. But ask yourself, if you cannot enjoy life without others recognizing it, are you truly living for yourself? Stoicism challenges us to free ourselves from this slavery, to enjoy experiences purely for their own sake, not for recognition. The lesson is simple but revolutionary. If your peace is reliant on someone else's presence, attention, or validation, you will always be fragile. But if your peace is grounded in yourself, then no absence, silence, or rejection can defeat you. The lesson that frees you. Here lies the great Stoic lesson: you won't feel the need for anyone after you internalize this truth. Peace and completeness are not given by others, they are already within you. Relationships, friendships, and love become sweeter, paradoxically, when you no longer need them to make you whole. When you no longer cling desperately, you begin to see others for who they are, not for how they serve you. You become capable of unconditional love. And if they leave, you grieve but remain whole. Epictetus captured it perfectly when he said, "When you kiss your child, say to yourself, tomorrow it may die." But this does not mean you stop loving, it means you love without illusions. In the same way, when we anchor peace in ourselves, no loss can destroy us. Conclusion: from dependence to freedom. You will never experience lasting peace if it hangs upon another person's presence, affection, or validation. The moment you learn to anchor your self-worth in your own soul, in your virtues, in your capacity to respond well to life, then, and only then, you become truly free. Stoicism does not demand that you live without people, it demands that you live without neediness. It invites you to love fully, but without attachment. To enjoy companionship, but without dependence. To serve others, while standing firmly in your own dignity. Once you grasp this, the fear of loneliness disappears. The cage of dependence breaks. You remain whole, unwavering, calm in a chaotic world. People may come and go, relationships may bloom or fade, but your peace, anchored in yourself, endures. And that is the Stoic's gift, to live so fully self-sufficiently that you love more deeply, precisely because your love is free. That is the lesson that releases you from needing anyone, and allows you to finally discover unshakable inner freedom.